Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm super excited to share with you a summary of the book 21st Century Investing by William Burckart and Stephen Lydenberg. This book is all about how to invest in ways that help, not hurt, the world. Do you remember when the rallying cry of investors worldwide was, "Greed is good"? Well, times have certainly changed. With the social and environmental implications of unchecked greed becoming all too obvious, it's time to take a different approach to investing. This book is a how-to guide for investors who want to make a positive impact with their money. It's not enough to just divest from fossil fuels or add a few socially conscious companies to your portfolio. It's time to tackle the big issues facing the world as systems. In this video, we'll talk about why sustainable investment just isn't enough, give you tips on how to identify the most pressing issues to focus on, and even dive into the fascinating story of how divestment helped to end apartheid in South Africa. So, get ready to learn how to invest in a way that benefits both you and the world. Idea number 1. Picture this. You close your eyes and imagine your average investor. Do they have a strong social conscience? Are they committed to changing the world for the better? Sadly, the answer is probably not. For too long, many investors have been greedy and just looking to make a quick buck. But it's time to change that. System-level investing is the answer. It's all about strengthening the social, financial, and environmental systems that society depends on. And the best part, it's not just for fund managers or high-powered CFOs. Anybody can be a system-level investor. What sets them apart is their active and relentless approach. They don't just buy shares in renewable energy companies and call it a day. They advocate for new public policies, work towards progressive industry standards, and collaborate with like-minded investors to bring about systemic change. Short-term gains at the expense of vital systems like healthcare, consumer safety, and the environment are not gains at all. System-level investors understand this and invest in ways that make our fundamental systems stronger and more resilient. So, are you ready to join the movement of system-level investing and make a positive impact on the world? Let's get started. Idea number 2. Are you ready to get serious about making a positive impact in the world through your investments? Of course you are. But, where do you even start with a task that seems so huge and complex? No worries, I've got you covered. The key message here is to focus your investments based on consensus, relevance, and effectiveness. That's right, folks. 3 simple principles to guide you to greatness. First up, let's talk about consensus. If the issue you're investing in is important and has widespread agreement, then you're good to go. Think about how everyone agrees that improving global healthcare is a worthy goal. Next, relevance. You want to make sure the issue you're investing in has the potential to affect many different types of investments in a big way. It can't just be about one specific type of investment, like real estate for example. Lastly, effectiveness. You want to choose battles you can win, so focus on issues where you can actually make a difference. Can you work with like-minded investors? Is the public aware and supportive? These are all important factors to consider. By following these 3 guiding principles, you'll be well on your way to investing in the right systemic issues and making a positive impact in the world. Idea number 3. Let's talk about how bonds can be super helpful in funding some major improvements in the systems we rely on. Before, we talked about the importance of assets and how they can be impacted by systemic changes. But what if we told you assets can actually be used to make important systems more resilient and help prevent threats? Yes, you heard that right. Assets come in many forms, but today we're going to talk about just one: bonds. Bonds are loans to governments or organizations that can be traded among investors. They're a pretty straightforward concept. Instead of going to the bank, an organization can sell bonds to raise capital. Conventional investors love bonds because they're a safe investment option and help balance out the risk in their portfolios. But sustainable investors also love bonds because they can support non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and fund the development of crucial infrastructure like hospitals, schools, and transportation systems. But wait, there's more. System-level investors take it a step further. They look to bonds like green bonds and COVID bonds as a way to finance real systemic change. Green bonds fund environmental projects like sustainable transport and renewable energy, while COVID bonds help fund a nation's recovery from the global pandemic. So there you have it. Bonds aren't just a secure investment option, they can also be a powerful tool for systemic improvements. Idea number 4. We're getting deeper into the world of system-level investing. And you know what? There's more to this than just bonds. In this idea, we'll check out how portfolio construction and investment beliefs statements can be a game-changer for system-level investors. Traditional investors use these tools all the time, but they've got some unique perks for system-level investors too. The main message here is simple. System-level investors should pay close attention to portfolio construction and investment belief statements. An investment belief statement, IBS, spells out a financial institution's views on the markets and their role in it. It's basically their investment philosophy in layman's terms. And this is good news for system-level investors because they can use an institution's IBS to see if their values align with the investment decisions the institution is likely to make. For example, is the institution investing in fossil fuels or committing to sustainable energy sources? Take CalPERS, a retirement fund in California. Their IBS states that they prioritize responsible environmental practices and addressing systemic risks like climate change. That's the kind of language system-level investors should be on the lookout for. And what about portfolio construction? Well, it's all about risk management, picking investments that are less likely to lose value. But for system-level investors, it's important to factor in systemic risks too. For example, is investing in even the most stable oil company truly risk-free given the harm fossil fuels cause to the environment? It's all about finding the right balance. Idea number 5. Let's talk about the power of standards setting for systemic change. Most investors don't have the direct influence that CEOs or board members have, but they still have a voice and a vote with their wallets. And when system-level investors come together and evaluate their options for creating change, standards setting is a big player. The key message: investors can use standards setting to demand reform. Remember the story of Reverend Leon Sullivan? He was a civil rights activist who knew the power of standards setting. He used it to tackle discrimination and apartheid in South Africa. The Sullivan Principles, a list of requests to ensure equal treatment of black employees, was adopted by anti-apartheid investors and large U.S. public pension funds. By divesting from companies that didn't adhere to the principles, they forced change and ultimately helped end apartheid laws. This shows us that when investors band together, standards setting can have a huge impact. So, when it comes to systemic change, let's remember the power of the wallet and use standards setting to drive reform. Idea number 6. Have you been paying attention to the state of the world lately? It's tough to ignore all the harm caused by greedy, short-term thinking in the financial world. But it's a good thing that more people are starting to take notice, and even the financial institutions are jumping on board with socially and environmentally responsible investing. But wait, hold up. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's always genuine. That's why you've got to be a detective and always question the conduct of financial managers. When checking out a financial manager, ask yourself some important questions. Do they have a clear policy on addressing systemic issues? And if so, is it just talk or do they walk the walk? Do they track and report their impact? And here's the real kicker. It's not enough to just aim for change. You want to see results. Has this manager actually made a positive difference in the system? Have they worked with others to find real solutions? If you can say yes to these questions, you might have found yourself a winner. Summary. Are you tired of investment strategies that only focus on making a quick buck, regardless of the toll it takes on society and the environment? Well, good news. It's time for a change. Today's savvy investors are all about strengthening vital systems and making a positive impact. To get started, it's all about finding the right issues to tackle, picking the right assets, and putting together a solid plan of action. Don't forget about the power of standard setting too. It's a great way to force industries to raise their standards and do better. And let's not forget about keeping an eye on those self-proclaimed, responsible, financial managers. Make sure they're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So, are you ready to make a difference with your investments? Let's do this. Now, the insights and knowledge I gained from reading 21st Century Investing were phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and if you found value in this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more great content. Trust me, you won't regret it.